of the organisation that organised this protest today. We are a British advocacy group. Every other group of people is allowed a group that stands up for them, apart from British people and white people. So we fill that gap. Now, as you can see over here, there is a small rabble of misfits and freaks who like to follow us around the country. Believe me when I say these people do not even know why they are here today. I've heard them chanting about transgender rights. I've heard them chanting about taxing the rich. I've heard them chanting about Palestine, and that has nothing to do with our protest today. What happens is they get the call, they jump on their clothes, they get given a silly little plastic sign, and they follow us around the country. So they are here today to get a reaction from you guys, and the best thing that you can do is just ignore them. They are so far beneath us. The press are here today, and what they want to get is a photograph of us looking aggressive, looking sick and all this stuff. So please don't give them ammunition. We're here today because we care about our people. We're not here today to go and fight with a load of communists. I also, thank you. I also stand in front of you today as a wife, and I'm married to a man named Sam Nelia. Some of you might know, he's in the press quite a lot last year. My husband was sent to prison for 2 years last year for posting online and warning about the things that we're here to warn about today. So for me personally, and perhaps for lots of you as well, this is one of the reasons why I'm here today. I'm here today to say that you will not silence us, you will not stop us from talking about the things that we care about, no matter what you threaten us with, no matter what you try to bribe us with. We will always be here, and we will always be here standing up for our people, looking out for our children. And lastly, perhaps the last hat that I wear today is, I'm also a mother. I've got 2 young children who are aged 3 and 1, and that's another reason that I'm here today. I care about the country that they're going to grow up in. I want them to be able to walk down the street safely. I want them to be able to play in the park without interact. I want them to have freedom of speech, and I want them to be able to be proud of who they are. Because there's nothing wrong with being British, there's nothing wrong with being white. In fact, it's fantastic.
Yay!
So today we have a number of speakers who are going to be speaking to you about issues in this area and also issues in Britain as a whole. And our first speaker today is a gentleman named Matt Darrington, and he's our representative, one of our representatives from the East Midlands. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Matt.
Hey!
Come on, Matt.
Testing.
Job.
I'm not a great orator like Mark Collette, and my speech is fairly long, so be patient as I read what I wrote from my heart. I'm Matthew Darrington. I've lived in Newark all my life. I ran in the general elections last year for the English Democrats. I wanted to speak about my short run in politics and how I ended up in the elections and my experience. It started before the elections, and more importantly, before the mystery man came back to reform. Behind the scenes, as all things begin, a mutual alliance was forged between smaller nationalist parties to put candidates forward for the upcoming general election. You know, that thing that quite literally decides the outcome of a country's future. Reform wasn't any real threat back then, so I put myself forward to see what it was all about in the real world of politics. I quickly realised what the real world of politics actually is. But as all things go, out of the blue, the mystery man reappears. Farage is back at reform, and every donator has pulled out of our secret little scheme. So with endless leaflets coming through my door of all the political parties, eventually Farage made his way onto every single reform leaflet. People were no longer voting for the local candidate, they were voting for the party leader. And so I made a decision to put personal money into this cause, delivering leaflets to every door, knowing victory is now totally impossible. I chose not. My first taste of debates wasn't one I was invited to at Southall Minster. I did request, but was declined. Seems they'd run out of chairs and tables. It was hosted by an ex-BBC presenter, so you can only imagine how that would go. It started off with all your political parties sat around tables with some independents as well. The questioner sat in the middle, ready to fire his questions and truth heckles, mainly at the Tory and Labour parties, which was quite amusing. Even I, by the end, was confused as to what was going on. It just evolved into political squabbling. I did stand up for about 10 seconds and with passion shouted, "Whatever comes out your mouths never comes effing true." Media headlines after read, "Voters left the venue more confused than before," which speaks 1,000 words of what politics has become. After the event, I was invited to Newark Hustings event. Now, Hustings is an open debate for voters to come and ask questions at random. The day of the Hustings, I'd been at work all day in the blistering sun on a dusty side. I was absolutely exhausted. I had barely a 40-minute window before the event started to wash, change into smarter clothing. I'm not a politician. A part of a large political group. I take no salary. I'm just a blue-collar bricklayer earning a wage for every brick I lay by hand. No one's paying me but myself and the hard, honest work I try to provide in a time when not many people have money to... have money to buy extortionately priced houses while we work for underpriced rates of pay. Such is current life. I survived the hustings, just. I could feel the exhaustion of the day setting in trying to give honest answers. I agreed with what a lot of the other candidates were saying, but it's all false promises. How can we fund projects and investments when this country has over £3 trillion worth of debt? Something all the media seem to miss out when writing their media report to publish about me. The only guarantee is that recessions will become more often and harsher. Services will continue to be underfunded. The police and military is struggling due to cuts. The list goes on. Life is not going to get better anytime soon. But in truth, those problems are minor. It's not poverty or weakness that's causing this. It's our inability to become a united kingdom. What we're starting to see now is this country will divide between the left and the right. The narrative is becoming one day you will have to pick a side. But how could you pick a side when politics is so watered down even on the left and right leaning parties? Many people think that if we just get rid of illegal migration, then our problems are solved. Well, I'm here to tell you that it's just a taste of much larger issues in Europe. The only way for us to become united is through cultural change, which would eventually lead to cultural victory. Groups like Patriotic Alternative, Woodlander Initiative and Active Club England offer that. Let me put it this way, if 1 in 10 people were to join organisations like this, then the Overton window shifts. Lawyers, bankers, politicians, judges and the number one being media. People like that hold real power of change. If we become united on the same views, then changes would come. It would go like an electric shock of awakening right throughout Europe, and this country with many others within our European continent would eventually be saved from its destructive path of inevitable collapse, which would in turn save mankind. Europe is the cradle of modern civilization, and we must save her. Regrow the great tree that is Europe and drive its roots deeper into its native country's soil, making the tree rise above all others. Ending my run in the elections, I went to the voting count in my work here, as I'd work in a few hours, to which I was informed I may or may not have to do an ending speech. So I nipped home, got redressed, wondering what I was going to say if I'd speak. I thought, I'm tired, I'll keep it short, even if it sounded tired, as it was. I'm sure many others were as well. Witnessing so many people counting the votes struck home to me. All the hard work that people go through to get the votes right. A recount of votes can be called, which would be horrendous. Thankfully it didn't. The final counts have been given. Conservative victory over Labour. Earlier in the elections, when I knew I had no chance of winning, I didn't want to be the guy to let Labour win by splitting the vote. So I did advocate for Robert Jenrick. I cannot take sole credit for his victory, but I certainly wasn't prepared to let Labour win. My ending words in my final speech: the nationalist wave is beginning. We're seeing it across Germany, France and other countries. We are not alone. Looking into the future, we must now rethink what needs to be done. Labour is doing such a wonderful job at becoming unpopular. I think little action needs to be done to stop them destroying their party. Going after pensioners over winter fuel payments was the start of their ending, or at least losing millions of votes. What a surprise, eh? But the Conservatives, on the other hand, retain seats. This we cannot allow to happen in the next election. The fact that the Tories voted Kelly Badenoch to be the next leader of the Conservatives just shows how out of touch they really are. She was voted in over Robert Jenrick for one reason and one reason only: to be the face of diversity, something that I believe will bite them hard in the next elections. Let's touch up on what diversity means. The meaning of diversity is as such: having a variety of different things or people. I can understand this point of view. I think many people have thoughts of being a diverse country. But hear me out. We now have 72 schools with no white children. 454 schools with less than 2% white British. Is that diversity, or is that total demographic replacement? Yes. I ask you, by the end of this century, will China still be majority ethnic Chinese? Will India still be Indian? How about Africa? Will native Africans still be a super majority? Absolutely. Is Europe going to be predominantly European? Statistics are out there, people. This will not be the case. You will become a minority. We cannot compete on birth rates to other countries. After 2 world wars and continued lower birth rates, we've now sealed our own fate with the current trend. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news. Slightly back on track now. The time of the Tory must end. They're outdated and out of touch. For you Conservative voters out there, please stop voting for them. It's time for something new and untried, and that is Reform UK. Yay! I'm not saying Reform is the saviour of Britain, but by God, have we got any other major political party to really vote for in the next upcoming election? Reform must get a supermajority for any changes to occur. The Tories are a hindrance to that idea. If Reform has the bottle to start mass deportations of illegal people within the United Kingdom, that's likely to be 2 million people being deported. It's a massive step, and once people realise this can be done, who knows what future could hold for a new United Kingdom. We have work to do, people. Get out there and speak to friends and family on these issues. The country is dependent upon your enthusiasm and dedication to making Britain great again. PA and other groups I've mentioned will keep working on creating stronger communities. We welcome you all with open arms. This campaign has only just begun. We will continue to raise awareness over these issues. All we want is a fair, open debate broadcasted live on news channels. But with the likes of the BBC and others, they will never allow our message to become mainstream. It's always their narrative and what they want to push across. Just remember all, look at gov.uk. If you have concerns over mass migration, you have extreme views. If the Bradford Pals Battalion of the First World War If the Bradford Pals Battalion of the First World War could see Bradford in 2025, I think they might have a few questions to ask, along the lines of what the bloody heck has happened. On a brighter note, raise your cheering voices in support of this little historic town called Newark.
Yeah! Woo! Woo!
I'm a proud Newark lad, and I wish our town to thrive. Newark has a long history of English culture. Over the last few hundred years, we've had small amounts of diversity. Traveller horse farriers sailed here, and that community's grown. Sumel's shop, the Ashana, there's good people in this town. A lot of us know them personally. That shop has been here longer than I've been alive. We have good people in our English community. And people who have come here from abroad and out of town who have integrated well within our community. But enough is enough. I do not want our town to turn into another city that's lost its sense of national identity and culture by bringing in masses of people to replace local populations. I'll say that England is not finished. England is not dead. England lives and marches on.
My name is Arron and I'm the Southwest Regional Organiser for Patriotic Alternative. It is a pleasure to speak to you today. My people, sons and daughters of England, we are one people, one nation with a shared blood and soul. When something is stolen from one of us, we all lose something. When one of us is injured, we all bleed. And when we rise up, we rise together. The world that our forefathers fought and died to build has been sold by traitors to foreign powers. They have handed our cultural inheritance and our children's futures to people who do not value it. They will destroy it. They will destroy everything our people have built. For this unforgivable betrayal, they will be remembered as liars and cowards of the worst kind. They will be held up as a cautionary tale, and their dishonoured memory will serve as a warning to others who might be tempted by 30 pieces of silver. The sovereignty of our country and the safety of our children are not negotiable. No price is too high to defend them. Every day, more and more foreign men flood into our country with the intention of essentially looting it. They are freeloaders and parasites who care nothing for our laws or our way of life. They prey on our children, and anyone who opposes them is branded as racist. The government has created hate speech laws to criminalise criticism of these monsters. They want you to think that being a racist is worse than being a rapist, so that they can bully you into silence. We will not be silent. We will stand up and we will speak out. We will be heard and we will defend our people. We don't care if you call us racist. That trick won't work anymore.
Yes. Yes, here.
They all need to be sent back to where they came from. They don't belong here. Our government is the architect of the mass migration movement. They are complicit in the crimes of the people they have brought in. The political establishment, the media, and the police are all in on it. The politicians bring them in, the media conceals their crimes, and the police intimidate anyone that tries to stop it. We will not be intimidated. Time and time again, we see mainstream media outlets downplaying the crimes of migrants and their descendants. They try to hide the true scale of the problems, and they always describe the perpetrators of these crimes in favourable terms. They turn aggressors into victims, and victims into aggressors. They tell us that these monsters are the victims of a culture clash with a systemically racist system, and that the girls they prey upon are racist bigots, pushing racist stereotypes and outright lies. When these vulnerable girls turn to the police for help, they discover that law enforcement does more to protect the migrant rape gangs than it does to protect the victims of actual crimes. So few reported crimes in this country are actually solved, and yet there is no shortage of officers when hate speech laws need to be enforced. Because of this blatant two-tier system, these gangs have been able to operate with impunity for decades and accumulating hundreds of thousands of victims, many of whom will never get any measure of justice. The problem has gone from bad to worse over time. Successive generations of migrants have not integrated. Far from it, they have created enclaves where they live among themselves in colonies that steadily expand to consume whole cities. As they do so, we slip further and further towards becoming a minority in our own homeland. When this happens, the gang problem will only get worse. We must take a stand now for our children's sake, or the country they inherit from us won't be worth living in. We must have mass deportations of foreign criminals. It is the only way.
Yes! Yes!
It is the only way to save our country, to save our children. We need to kick them all out. No excuses and no exceptions. Mass deportations now!
Hello, my name's Ian Holloway. I'm the regional organiser in East Midlands. We are Patriotic Alternative.
Yes!
And today is the 9th of August, which is the Indigenous Peoples Day. Without the Indigenous people of Britain, there is no Britain. The job of a nation's people is to push back against tyranny. Therefore, a divided nation is a weak nation. A nation divided along racial lines is no longer a nation or a country. It is a zone of conflict. Self-segregation is entirely natural. An ethnicity map of London illustrates this clearly. People who hold power in Britain are aware of this phenomena, yet they proceed along the path of multiculturalism. We believe the dispossession of power from the indigenous British people in favour of the state-corporate partnership is intentional. Ladies and gentlemen, in a few short decades, we will be a minority in our own lands. Please, invest in your future and join a nationalist community. It is essential that we rediscover the communities that have protected us throughout our history. Patriotic Alternative is a thriving advocacy group dedicated to the well-being of the indigenous British people. Please consider joining us. Thank you.